we don't necessarily ask what are the constraints and assumptions on the basis of which that workflow is created. And this, with AI coming in, do those constraints and assumptions still hold true? Because that's really what we should be thinking about when we look at a workflow. And, going back to the idea of tools versus engines, a great example to kind of bring that distinction is what happened in social networking when TikTok came up. So before the rise of TikTok, the social networks that were dominant, Instagram, YouTube, etc., were all built around the logic of the social graph. And because it's so difficult to solve the chicken and egg problem of if nobody follows you, you won't be posting, and hence your social graph never gets started up. Wall Street had kind of declared these companies winners, and there was no way for a new social network to come up. And what TikTok did was it essentially restructured the idea of a social network around the capabilities of AI. And essentially, instead of relying on the idea of a social graph, it created more of a behavior graph where really small sub 60-second videos could be created easily by creators, and consumers could constantly swipe them, pause, replay every single action that consumers performed. And because this was mobile native, all of those actions could be captured. That helped populate the behavior graph, and that in turn helped populate the user's feed. And eventually that then helped create the social graph, because users would eventually follow creators whose content they were seeing and resonating with. All the traditional social networks had access to the same AI, but they used that AI to improve recommendations within the social graph. They did not use it to rethink how a social network should be structured. And so that's the key idea, that when you think about AI as an engine, you reimagine the structure of your business around its capabilities, versus when you see it as a tool, you take the existing structure that already existed and you try to speed up things within that structure.